Hey everyone, I am Mike of Mike Does Play, and welcome back to the Pokemon Yellow Immortal Pikachu Nuzlocke. Last time we ended up grinding our Pokemon, even though I said that we were going to try to avoid that because everything is terrifying. And this time, we're actually going to Route 25 this time. Like, for reals. Like, walking onto the route and immediately going to catch a Pokemon here. Because, you know, we can make a catch here. And either it's going to be an excellent backup for Yoink, the Oddish, who's better for our immediate needs, or it's going to be a Venonat who'll probably just sit in the box. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation here. But yeah, no, those are the options here. So we've got a 25% chance at Bellsprout and a 10% chance at a Venonat, which, like, you know, that's 35%, so it's kind of like you triple it. So it's like a 30% shot at a Venonat. Oh, a little under. Oh, that's the one we're going with. Okay, Venonat, you will not be added to the team. I mean, I'm gonna catch you, because, you know, dex completion and all that. But, let's 4 Pokeballs. I don't really want to waste Pokeballs. Alright, so Immortal P, you paralyzed it. You did your job. We're gonna go with Rage Face. Because Rage Face can do small damage to it, I think. And also will not be used as often against these trainers, so if he's a little hurt, that's okay. And now you should be catchable, I think. I hope. Okay, good. Alright, aim for Venonat. Wow, that ball is like real purple. I like how the balls just look different depending on, like, the Pokemon you caught. Nickname for Venonat who we're probably not going to use. Eyes. Sometimes it doesn't have to make sense. Sometimes it can just be, you know, kind of a thing, as Fluffums takes the lead here, because I know that this guy starts out with a Machop. As we head into the trainers, this is the part that's exciting. This is it. This is what you're here for. My team versus trainers who are scary, because even though we grinded for a full episode, we're still barely at their levels. And, you know, Karate Chop has a high crit chance, and there it is. We're already and immediately in trouble. Not like bad trouble yet. Because it only did 12 with a crit. So, you know. That one did 13, and I should have switched out much sooner, apparently. Gosh. And of course, Karate Chop is neutral on Pants, who has terrible defense. So, yeah, just immediately bad. And Pants should have just led that fight, because he was also level 15, and I forgot about that. And would have been, you know, super effective against the Machop. But it's fine. Everyone lived. And now, Geodudes are no longer scary, because we have Yoink. I mean, you know, Rage Face kind of already made them not scary, but now they're even less scary. So, you know, advantages and such. And you know what, Yoink, we're gonna face one more trainer before I go Panic Heal, because this guy has an Onyx, and I know that. And I don't recall what the youngster up there has. I know like 90% of this round. Just offhand. I only looked up. By the way, just for, again, total clarity on everything we're doing here, I'm looking up encounter tables and then level caps for major fights. Well, for gym leaders, if I need to, because Yellow has some wonky ones. So, you know, yes, I know what the encounters are. I am not looking up what the trainers have, or like movesets or anything like that. So I'm just going on pure memory. Yoink hits level 16. Excellent. Yoink needs to hit level 21 for us to be ready for Misty, so It's a bit left. But it's all good. It's actually real good because, you know, we don't want to over-level. And we're going to go into the gym probably next episode because the goal is to just finish off the trainers in round 25 in this one. And then, yeah, we'll go into the gym and then probably grind. Honestly, we'll probably only grind 2 Pokemon. We're going to use 2 Pokemon for the gym, so I don't want to... won't want to do more than that. But it'll be Yoink and Immortal P who are doing that. But I don't want either one of them going to the gym higher than like level 19. So, you know, we're just going to be hitting those levels, hitting those caps very specifically and in an odd way. Okay, let's see. Yoink, you are going to switch back out for Fluffums. Let me actually look at eyes. Yeah, and he's not a good Pokemon. I'm gonna deposit him in the box too because anyone who's not on the team really shouldn't be on on the team. Because, you know, in case Immortal P goes down in just a random trainer battle, which could totally happen, you know, we can't have a non-team member on the roulette because that's just not fair. You know, I mean, Burb took the hit the first time and he was added to the team kind of in case the roulette happened, but you know, ended up being good because Rage Face has been very good so far. But, you know, honestly, the chances that even half of this party makes it to the end game are like very slim. There's at least 6 more battles where I'm 90% sure Immortal P is going to go down. So, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun little experience. As we've got this youngster. The Rattatas are just terrifying. They just are because of Hyper Fang this early and how not good defensively my team is. It's a 3-hit, but you know what? You know what? I can just see the Leer plus Hyper Fang. Yep. And that was a critical hit. So that was scary. Well, that's bad. Rage Face, no! Oh gosh, okay, so crit plus miss plus hit. We just lost our second team member, and I was just saying how good it was that Rage Face didn't die against Brock. And now we don't have fighting type, and that was important for, like, the rival. So that was really bad. Really bad things just happened. Oh my gosh. Rage Face, our first team member, just instantly down. Not even as a sacrifice for Immortal P. Just crit dead. And he was just as valuable as Fluffums. I just switched him in because I figured he was safe. That was painful. That was a painful loss. And now we have to go into positive because Rage Face is dead, and we don't want a corpse. So even though last time I said I was not going to swap boxes on screen because, you know, saving, looks like this time we are because we've got to deposit our first friend in the box. Well, not, and technically Burb was our first friend, so we've lost like 2 of our most important Pokemon. Well, Burb wasn't all that important, but they all were. They all are. And now Rage Face is gone and I'm in trouble. Ooh. Well, you know, I did say that Pokemon were gonna go down, and it looks like this episode now has a title because, you know, yes, we will save the data and go all the way down to box 12, and then we will deposit Rage Face. We're just gonna stay on box 12 in case more friends die. Highest level Pokemon. The only one who is actually, like, high enough to fight Misty. Gone. he wasn't going to see the Misty battle. But still, now things are bad. Oh gosh. Well, alright, so Immortal P is now the last remaining member of the team that fought Brock. And we have not yet fought Misty. So this is going real well. Murderer. Immortal P, do you still love us? Slightly. Okay. Well, you're gonna take the lead in this next one, because I know exactly what this trainer's got, and it's a Slowpoke. Okay, story time. Story time. Because that was so sad. That was awful. Okay, but we gotta keep going, even though, you know, crushing things have happened. So there's a story that I have around this Slowpoke. Well, okay, technically it's the Fire and Leaf Green version of this Slowpoke, but still. All right, first Nuzlocke I ever did was Leaf Green version, actually. Somehow I did that. Hey, Immortal P hit level 18. Gosh. So, first Nuzlocke I ever did. I started with a random starter, which is what I like to do for Nuzlockes, and ended up with Charmander in Fire and Leaf Green. Yep. Caught a Mankey, so Brock wasn't a problem. Yeah. Oh gosh, similar stories. So caught a Mankey, so Brock wasn't a problem, but then I'm on my way to Misty and I'm like, oosh, I'm in trouble. The only thing I had was a Butterfree who wasn't weak to Misty. Like, just poor catch luck along the way. Which is often a routine for me in Nuzlocke, so I'm actually very glad with who we've ended up with so far. We've got some good ones. And so I'm like, okay, rounds 24 and round 25, I'm gonna hope for, well, Bellsprout, because I did not want to just have an Abra that I would have to grind and then still not really have a good option against Misty. And I got one. I got Bellsprout, and I'm like, yes. And I named him Misty LOL, because as you've found out, I'm not great at naming things. Not really a forte. I'm always like, blank expression, and we'll go with this. And so, named him Misty LOL, and was like, alright, I've got this in the bag. Beat a couple trainers with a Geodude and an Onix, and I was like, yeah, feeling good about this. Feeling strong. And I just remembered that I have 2 potions. Alright, well, Fluffham's gonna get one. I was feeling good. I was feeling like, you know, confident. Had named him an obnoxious name. Fought that Slowpoke, 1 hit by a crit. Confusion. It was the first loss of the game. Bellsprout went down immediately, and I was like, so I've had you for like a minute, and now you're dead. And then I failed the Abracadabra. So I was like, oh no, things are bad, and they were. The rest of that Nuzlocke, however, only had, including Bellsprout, 5 total losses. God, some good Pokemon. The rest of the losses were the Mankey went down as a primate in the Sevi Islands, by the way, like on one island, he got crit by another fighting type. No, Machop, you're probably just going to Karate Chop, so I'm going to set it in Pants. Yoink, you are now, like, in desperation keep alive mode. Of course, Pants also we don't want to die, and then immediately gets crit, so that's good. So yeah, we lost the Machop there. I guess is a pattern. Primate went down deep into the game. It was only my 2nd loss. I was like, really? I'm gearing up for the Elite Four right now. Yoink hit 17, which is excellent. And then... oh gosh. And then, what happened next? Right, then I lost 3 Pokemon between Lance and the champion. Lance and the rival took out 3. Lance because Seadra just barely failed to 1-hit KO his Dragonite with an Ice Beam. I remember my first Nuzlocks with most games. I'll probably tell the story of like every single one, just to have talking points as we go here. But like, okay, I'm gonna use the other potion because again, trying not to just run back to the Pokemon Center after every battle. I've got like 4 trainers left and one duel in the next 5 minutes. And so, as I say this, I'm just gonna point out that Tess and Lily have been just peeking through the door as I'm recording, just wondering what I'm up to. You can't hear them. Maybe you can hear Lily in the background, but you know, baby girl. But just pointing out that yes, even though Tess is not part of this recording, she is still stopping by to see what's going on. My Mankey died. I'm so upset. Sorry. So sad. So sad. Don't know if you can hear her, but. Yeah, so I remember the first Nuzlocke very well, and oh gosh, a Rattata. This is terrifying. It is very terrifying. Pants hit with Fury Attack, that's good. Why does it do so little? And okay, the Rattata used Tail Whip. We're gonna switch to Peck because it's accurate. And we don't want... No. No. 2 HP. Okay. Pants is alive. We're good. No, it's an Ekans, and there's no way I'm staying in on 2. So Fluffums is gonna come in and then not get poisoned. Alright, it used Leer and failed. Alright, good. We're good. We're all in good shape. We're not dead. Don't poison me. Okay, good. This Scratch looked like a 3-hitter. So, alright, Wrap is fine, because it's not going to do, 2 damage, I don't care. Okay, and we're going to just run to the Pokemon Center after this, because I already used up all my potions. So, yeah. Alright, Fluffums gets the KO. And that's good. And we're in good shape. We're not dying. And if you can hear Lily, yes, she is adorable and amazing. And, you know, I know you want to play too. You will play like years from now when you're big enough and you can like talk. I know. What is Daddy doing? He's doing something. I know. Come
on, little one.
Lily very much wants to learn how to play video games. She gets very upset when she can't. She is amazing, by the way. Just, you know. As I'm not paying attention, they have now left the room. So we got a first Lily cameo of the run! First Lily cameo of the channel, actually. So, you know, that was great. That made me happy. That's, you know. Oh, Pants almost dies too. Whew, 1 loss per episode. Like, no more than that. We don't want more than that. You know, I know in Nuzlocke you're like, oh yeah, give us death. But, you know, not that much. And, you know, we also picked up, I believe that's the, you know what, we're going to keep Pants out front. I believe that was the Seismic costume, which might come into play at some point if we need set damage. Who knows? It could be good. Could be helpful. Maybe there's one battle I'm thinking about where can Pikachu learn Seismic Clause? That's a good question. Because he can. Oh, that's fascinating. That's actually fascinating. Keeping that in the back of my mind, just as a. Maybe he won't die. I mean, he's no, he's gonna get 1 hit. Who am I kidding? Oh, Surge is gonna. Surge is terrifying. All right, 2 trainers left. I believe. You know what? You definitely start with a Grass type. So I'm just gonna fight you because we have Pants, and Pants is gonna be up front, and you start with an Oddish, and that's what I knew. And so, you know. We're gonna need like a bunch of levels before Misty. And that's okay. Cause we'll just do another, we'll probably like start the next episode in the gym, beat the gym trainers, and then just grind Immortal P and Yoink up like 2 levels each probably at that point. No longer worrying that they're gonna beat that level cap. Because, yeah, neither one of them is even at level 19 before heading into the gym. Don't you do it. I know you just missed, and that's fine. Okay, you got the one hit. Don't need to panic, even though I'm slightly panicking. Alright, all Oddish has is Absorb, and I know that until level 15, because we have Yoink, who only had Absorb until level 15. This has been a nerve-wracking run, because, like, I'm aware that it might fail, because the rule set that I have come up with for this is insane. I mean, it truly is. Hardcore Nuzlocks are hard enough. Adding in all the Pikachu stuff is going to make it more difficult, and I'm aware of that fact. But, and you know, the fact that, no, I didn't add a Nidoran to my team, even though Nidoran female is objectively better than everyone on my team right now for the long term. I'm not using gift Pokemon, and that's also crazy, because, you know, the 3 starters would be very helpful for this. Eevee would be very helpful. Lapras! The Magikarp I have a plan for. I have the beginnings of a plan, but I have a pretty firm idea what I want to do with Magikarp. There are actually, like, 4 Pokemon I have very specific plans for obtaining and using correctly so that they're alive when I need them. You'll see. We're gonna reveal those kind of as we go. You'll notice that there was one name of a Pokemon who's pretty darn good, who I did not mention as not being unusable, because not a gift Pokemon. Yeah, got plans. Not using the legendaries, just to be. It's a Nuzlocke. I'm not gonna use a legendary in a Nuzlocke unless it's like for really cool reasons. All right, Fluffums. I believe that you can beat this Sandshrew. I'm actually 90% certain you can beat the Sandshrew, but Yoink could use the experience. So I'm yoinking ya for Yoink. That's why I came up with that name. Sort of. Maybe. I don't know. We're all mixed up. Rage Face died. I'm so sad. Like, I don't like losses in Nuzlocks. I know that they happen, and they're going to happen because this is my first recorded Nuzlocke. They're going to happen all over the place. I'm already 2 down, and that's, you know, my first ever one, I had 5. Well, to finish up that particular story, as we're now going to do the Bill event, which thankfully does not involve any trainers. Oh, it does involve Pikachu being completely confused. Like, backwards question mark levels of confused. And yeah, that's not a Pokemon, that's a Bill. So I had a team of 6 going into the league. It was a good team. I had not replaced any team members really along the way. If I had added them to my team, they were still there. Yeah. Lance one-shot my Seadra after he failed to one-hit KO the Dragonite. And then I was down to 5 and did pretty well on the rival for the first 2 Pokemon. And then the rival's Blastoise, that is still just, that should be the reaction Pikachu. So, then the rival's Blastoise came out and one-hit my Electrode with a non-crit. Electrode had been added to the team specifically to deal with the Blastoise, so that was a bummer. And then Snorlax came in to deal with the Blastoise. Pikachu still just very confused. And was immediately one-hit by a crit Hydro Pump. Yeah, lost 2 Pokemon to the Champion's Ace, and it was a Blastoise that I was not particularly concerned about. And he still had 4 left, and I had a Charizard, a Sandslash, and a Butterfree. And Butterfree beat the other 4. Literally. Rhydon was already gone, which was terrifying and had used up basically all of Sandslash's moves, because without Seadra, I was just screwed against Rhydon. But yeah, Rhydon and Pidgeot were gone, and wait, no, I'm sorry. Butterfree only beat 3. He beat Blastoise, Alakazam, and Exeggutor, while Charizard had to handle Arcanine solo. and barely did that. So that was how that Nuzlocke ended. 5 losses, only 2 pre-Elite 4, but the first one was to a random youngster that we fought today, so, you know, that's why it was a relevant story. And I'll probably find ways to tell the stories of my other first Nuzlockes of every region, because I've done them for everything but Paldea at this point. Next time, we're going to the gym. Even though we are under-leveled. But yeah, we'll go in, fight the gym trainers, and then probably train these 2 up to level 21. And, yeah. That'll be that. Ugh, I can't believe we lost Rage Face. That is so sad. I'm just sad about it. But that's going to do it for this part. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know if you could hear Tess or Lily at any point. You know, not sure what the microphone picked up, but that was a fun little surprise. And I hope that you enjoyed this part, and we will see you next time for parts of Misty's Gym. See you then.
Pikachu!